Here's the white wall backdrop. They use white as well. From what I remember, also because it's more or less neutral, it's not gonna cause light bleeding onto your subject matter, right? So there's also something called light bleed. And this one here, this backdrop, right? They use it intentionally because of the subject matters. It looks like the colors and everything matches, goes well together, versus using white. See here? What this, one of these lights are casting a pinkish, purplish hue, right? You can see the light bleed here, here. See? See this is for the rim light behind the subject. See how the shadows are soft. Anyway, so this light, I'm gonna name it within the outliner. Name it left. I'm gonna move it over, press E. I'm gonna hold J as in Jacob, do a snap rotation to about 45 degrees, right? I can press R and just pull on this so you can see the aimer, right? Like that. And then other rules is that, God, this dome light is annoying me. Show viewport. Why can't I don't want to see this Fine, I gotta deal with it. Whatever. So, anyway, I call this light, air light, left. You can see I rotate Y set to -45. So I get an angle like this. And then translate X. Oh, also the distance, right? Around here is okay. I'm gonna just show here. I'm doing incremental save. What I'm going to show is I'm going to turn this back on, interactive rendering, right? So it's rendering right now, it's processing, no difference, right? I'm going to show the attribute editor for this light. So these are some of the rules for the Arnold area light. First, like I said, don't change the name within the attribute editor. I don't recommend it. Next, don't mess with intensity. I mention this every semester, but there's a good handful of students that don't listen and they just end up screwing with this and this, right? Just mess with the exposure. And the values you want to use is, for example, say you start off with, say, something like 5, exposure at 5. I'm going to press enter. Barely did anything. Oh, also make sure that your lights never touch the ground. If you do, alright, so let's see, I'm gonna change this because right now it's set to world, right? Because you see perfect right angles. Control Shift right click, set it to object. It's gonna do set the move along the angle that is set. Anyway, I'm gonna zoom this in to this close. set this to 10. It's weird. This thing should be bright as hell. Oh, there, here. Before, after. But where's the... Okay, I'm gonna zoom this in some more. Here, right here. This is what I want to show. When you have the area light penetrating the floor, you'll see this line. That's why you never want to have it penetrating the geometry mesh of the floor or anything for that matter because of this. Not knowing about this alone, you can, when you're learning, will burn through a couple hours because you just have no idea why it's doing this ugly line, right? So you just always, the rule is lift it above at least this much. See? Then you want to pull it back around here. Also, the bigger the light, like I said, makes it so that it's a soft diffuse light. Before, after. Super soft and diffuse. Shadows are also negligible, right? This just adds a nice fill light. But if you have it scaled small, Control U, what's supposed to happen is the smaller the light source, the light beam gets more concentrated. So okay, so this here is the small light. I'm gonna save a snapshot. Okay, so this is that. I have it selected. Alright, I'm gonna write in here so you can write a little note. This here I wrote left area light scaled small. See? Now I'm gonna jack it up so you can see the before after. This is no light, this is area light small. You see how it also affects this guy over here, right? If I scale it big, see, this is the left area light scaled small. If I uncheck it, the bigger the light, the softer the fall off. See? Barely noticeable right now, but so this is before adding the area light. This is after. With the big fat area light. This here is the area light small. But even now, it looks to be barely noticeable difference. Usually there is. Anyway, alright, I'm gonna save this, screenshot it, right in here, left, light, scale, big, there, small, big. Barely noticeable. Anyway, so this is set exposure set to 10. Alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy of this. Right. Control D. And as soon as I made a copy of it, it's over here. I'm gonna do an incremental save. Before I even do anything, I'm gonna name it right. Then you notice it's doing this, but I just want it to move across here. So I do Control Shift right click, set it to world. Scoot it over. I'm gonna change this to just 45. and then maybe I'm just gonna eyeball it like that. This here is negative 136, so I'm gonna just type in negative 137. This one I'm gonna name it positive 137, so it's perfectly symmetrical. Alright. You can move around here by holding Alt and middle mouse to pan it. See? This is the left light scaled big. This is the right light. So here, I'm gonna save a snapshot. So you can be very, very methodical and logical. I'm gonna type in here, left and right lights at exposure 10. Okay. So this is the very beginning with this artifact, and then bam. Okay. All right, so we have those two. Right. Again, with these, only mess with exposure. Don't mess with the intensity. You mess with the intensity, you're gonna have to type in some insane large numbers, right? Like over 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. It gets ridiculous. You just add up. You just start piling a lot of zeros, and it just becomes a stupid mess. That's why you only use exposure. And there's other reasons why too. It's not just my rule, right? There's other way better designers than me that state this. Then a lot of times I like to turn on soft edge. Right, so we have this saved. I'm going to select this soft edge. I'm gonna jack this up. This one, soft edge, I'm gonna jack this up. Let's see what it does. This here, right? You see what it is? I'm gonna uncheck it. Typically, it's supposed to do something usually. It gives some lighting in here. It's barely noticeable, but I usually use this. It does something. Just right now, it's not as evident. Alright. Later on, for really clean shadows, you could turn the samples to 2. But that also will increase render times. But for now, we'll leave it alone. Shadow color, I just leave it alone. Right? Don't change colors right now. It's just too much to deal with. If you have glass materials, right, or metallic, well, mainly glass, but and transmission, I'll talk about that later when we make glass shaders. All right, and then now I think we should place, you notice that there's some dark shading here and here. I want to show something and explain something called forced bounce lighting. Right? So basically, forced bounce lighting is going to strengthen the illusion of bounce lighting, so it's not as high contrast here. Yeah, I'm gonna uncheck that. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another area light, R node, lights, area light. As soon as I have it, I'm gonna name it in here. Bounce light. Scale it big, so it's the size overall of the subject matter. Press E, press and hold J as in Jacob. Bop, bop, bop. Make sure I can see it, everything. Dump it underneath like so. Maybe around here. This much clearance, give or take. See, around here. Not too close, around here. Then I'm going to go set the exposure to like, I don't know, 6. And then maybe from there I'm gonna go to Windows, Relationship Editors, Light Linking, Light Centric. Okay, I'm gonna hold it there for a split second. Right, Windows, Relationship Editors, Light Linking, Light Centric. This crazy looking thing pops up. Basically, what I'm gonna do is have this bounce light. As you can see, the importance of naming. And here, I do not want it to illuminate or interact with the wall. So I uncheck it. Right? I click out here. I'm gonna click on this again just to double check. You'll see that it's unchecked. This kind of worries me, but it could be a glitch. Yeah, it worries me. So I have it selected. I'm gonna manually select this. I'm gonna manually hold control. Click, 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 click while you hold control. That way it selects all these geometry meshes for the subject matter, but not the cylindrical wall. That way it will go through the wall and not get bounced back. Right? Let's see what that does. If you don't see your render view, always look down here. Right, so I'm gonna do a render. This here is I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna write down here left and right lights with soft edge. Okay. Then Control U. Supposed to do something. What the hell? Probably not strong enough, so fine. I'm gonna jack this up to like 8. I'm gonna do a Control U, force a render. Now you can start to see it. See? You know, I'm gonna set this to 10. Control U. By the way, this got selected because if you click any on one of these, it will select the object. If you're wondering why I did that. Anyway, there you go, see? See? Big difference. There you go. Before, after. This is acceptable. So that's also at 10. So here, wait. I'm gonna save a snapshot. I'm gonna name it here. There. Alright, so boom, boom. You can see all the notations. This is getting long. I'm gonna wipe out some of these. There. You know what? Wipe that one off too. Okay. I want to experiment with the underneath bounce light. I'm gonna set the soft edge to 1. Let's see if that does anything for my bounce light. Control U, force a render. Again, I saved it previously with the little note. Before, after. Oh, there you go. See how much more illumination. So this is with the underneath light at 10. When I uncheck it, you see the underneath light at 10, but also with my soft edge that I mentioned previously. Bam. See? Big, big, big difference. It just widens the area of influence. That's what I want. So in here, first I gotta save a snapshot. Select that snapshot, type, select it, type in here, left and right, and underneath bounce light, all with soft edge and exposure 10. There. See? Super useful. I'm gonna do a... Why is it showing this? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So you have the beginnings of lighting and rendering. Very clean, right? Make sure to take advantage and use the strategy of bounce light. This is not my strategy. This was taught to me by a phenomenally good lighting and rendering artist, right? So yeah, I'm just passing on the knowledge. That made a major deal. A lot of times students don't incorporate this, having that bounce light, see? Because if you're going to have nice lighting and rendering, you know, you want to negate this, you want to fix this. See? Huge difference. Alright, I think I'm going to end it there. And then when I come back later, I think I'm going to add a top-down light as well. And then maybe move on to the shaders and stuff. Yeah, so that's the end of this tutorial. Bye.